Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and today we are back with another Python tutorial. So today's topic is going to be data types in Python. We are going to study about different type of variables and what kind of values can be assigned to them. So before I start further, please subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon for further notifications. So let's get started. As you guys can see, this is my Jupyter notebook where I am going to do all my coding. So first data type is string data type. As I told you in my last video, string data type are pretty easy to declare. You just have to write the variable name, and then this is my string hello world, which I am assigning it to. You can declare your string in two ways, either in single quotes or in double quotes, and in both of the cases the data type of your variable will be str, which you can verify by using this function called as type and passing your variable inside it. So this is a string data type here. Okay. Now the next data type is integer. So here I will just assign an integer value to my variable x. And now if you want to check the data type of x, it is an integer data type. Okay. And the next variable is float. So x is equals to 20 point, let's suppose 1, and now if I write type of x, it is changed to float. If you are a mathematician or if you are a young student working in calculus and some other kind of complex mathematical equation, you might know that we also have something called as complex number in maths. So what you have to do is you have to assign a complex number to x. For example, like x is equals to 5j, and if you now check the type of x, it will be complex. So that's how you can define complex numbers in Python. The next data type is going to be list data type. Okay, so in Java, in my last video in Java, I told you about the most important topics of Java, and one of the most important topic is collections. And this collections is actually very important topic for Python as well. So Python has different type of collections, and the first type of collection we are going to study is called as list. In this tutorial, I will also tell you how to create comments in Python. So if you want to write a comment in Python, you just have to write hash, and then you write the string of your comment. So for example, list declaration or initialization. Pardon my spelling, I'm not very good with it. So to declare a list or to initialize a list, all you have to do is x equals to and then square brackets, and then you just write your list. So 1 2 3, and then it will be a list of numeric numbers. And if you do type x, it is called as list, and if you just print x just like that, it is printed like that. Okay, so you can create a list with any type of variable. I can create a list of only numeric variables, just I created, and then I can also create a list of strings like r b c, and let's print out x. Okay, but I am not covering list in detail in this video. This is just a general tutorial about the different type of data types. So we will cover the list in a separate tutorial later. Okay, so the next type of next data type is called as tuple. Okay, how to create a tuple? So you have to do is x equals to, and then you have to do round brackets. So in list we were using square brackets, in tuple we will use round brackets, and you can just make your list like you can just make your tuple like you made list. So 1 2 3, all the comma separated values. And now if I check the type of x, it's a tuple. So what is the difference between a list and a tuple? I will definitely be explaining all these data types in detail, but just for your information, a tuple is an immutable list. So basically, if you want to add an element in a list, you can do that later, but you cannot add an element in tuple. Okay, so it's an immutable list. Let's go to the next data type. So the next data type is called as range. Okay, this is a very interesting data type. So for example, if you want to create a range of numbers, like I want to create a range of 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma 5. Let's suppose I want to create a range of number from 0 to 5. Okay, so 0 1 2 3 4 5. So all I have to do is write range and then 6. And now if I print x, you will see it is being printed as a range of 0 to 6. So what will happen is that if I try to iterate on this variable, on this range, I will be able to print numbers starting from 0 till 5. So 0 and then 6 minus 1. So it means 0 to 5. I can basically create a for loop. So if you want to run a for loop in Python, you can use this range and you can create a for loop which will run for 0 to 5 iterations. Okay, so that is about range. You can also create a range of let's suppose range and then 0 comma 6 comma 2. So what this range will do is that this will print your numbers with a step of 2. So what will happen is that your first number will be 0 and then your okay, I'll make this comment. So your first number will be 0, your second number will be 0 plus 2, which is 2, and then your third number will be 2 plus 2, which is 4, and then 6, or and then this. So your output will be 0 to 4 if you start printing the numbers or iterating the numbers in this range. Okay, so the topic of range will be covered more precisely when we will be covering the for loops or the while loops. So for now you can just understand that if you just want to make a sort of iteration, that means a chain of numbers from 1 to 10 or 0 to 10, then you can use range. Okay, now the next topic which is very important is called as set. Okay, so set is also like list. Let me just tell you how we can create a set. So if you guys have studied mathematics in your age, you might know that if when in mathematics we used to declare set with a curly braces. So there used to be a curly brace and this was called as an empty set. And if you simply write some values in it, like for example, I write here Python and then Java and then R. Okay, so this is how I can declare my set. If I print this out, it will be printed like this. And if I confirm the data type of X, it will come out to be set. Now, did you notice one thing here? Let me go back and show you the list. In list, I added a string R, B, and C. And you can see it was printed as in the same order R, B, and C. But in set, did you notice what happened? I added the elements as Python, Java, and then R. But when I printed my set, my elements were printed as R, Java, and Python. So you can see that in set, the elements are not stored in the same order in which you added them. So basically that's a difference between list and set. List is an ordered collection. In whatever order you add the elements in it, it will preserve the order of those elements. But in case of set, it will be like on unordered collection. So if you are adding the elements in whichever order you want to have, you can add it, but whenever you want to access those elements, it is not guaranteed that you will be able to access those elements in the same order you added them. Okay, so basically if you are not concerned about the order of your elements, you can use set, otherwise you can use list. Another very important fact about set is that set cannot have duplicate elements. So let's I will not start testing sets and lists here because we will be doing separate videos on that, but that's just for your information. Okay. Now, did you guys know did you guys already see what we did with tuple? So tuple was an immutable list. It is an ordered collection just like list, but we cannot modify it. That's the same thing with another type of variable called as frozen set. So what is a frozen set? Frozen set is sort of same as like of a set, but the only thing is that you won't be able to add more elements in this set. So in normal set you can add more elements, but in frozen set it's immutable. You won't be able to add more elements. So if you want to declare the frozen set, just declare it like that. So just basically you take the whole set, and you pass it in a function called as frozen set, and you can assign it to your variable, and there you go. That's your frozen set, and that's how you can check the data type. If you want to print it out, it is printed like that. Okay. Now there is one more data type, which is another like a primitive data type like integer and float, that is called as Boolean. So if you say x is equals to true, in which t is capital, and you say y is equals to false, you will say if the type of x is bool and the type of y is also bool. So basically true and false values, if they are assigned to any variable, then that variable becomes of type Boolean. Okay. Last but not the least, the most important data type is dict, which is called as a dictionary. Okay, so if you guys are familiar with Java, you might correlate dictionary with maps, right? So in map, what we have is a key value pair. So that's what dictionary has. It has a key value pair. Sort of like, even if you are not familiar with the maps in Java, if you are familiar with the JSON structure, so it's like a JSON structure, or it's kind of like maps in Java. Let's see how they look like in Python. So to declare a dictionary, you basically have to create a key value pair. Okay, so let's say x equals to, and I have my key here, and then colon, and then your value. Okay, and if you have an key which is string, and then you have an integer which is this, then you can have some integer value here. Okay, let's suppose 10. So okay, let's see what the key is. So let's suppose my key is language, and my value of this key is Python, and let's say my next key was version, and the value of this key is, let's suppose, 3.6.1, and then let's suppose my next key is let's suppose IDE. So which IDE I'm using? So here I'm using Jupyter, and that is it. Oh, okay, so we have some sort of issue here. We have this version called as 3.6.1. So basically we cannot have this version here because the float only has one decimal point, and if I want to declare a version like 3.6.1, I should make it a string, and then it will work. Or I can just specify one decimal point, and then also it will work. If you want to print it, just click X, and then you can see that my version is printed here. And to check the type, just add X in type, and you will see this is the type dictionary. So these are the most important data types which we will be using in Python, and hopefully through this video you are all familiar with them now, and I will cover all of them in detail in my next videos. Till then, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel, and bye bye.